Magnificent Mermaids introduces women who make things happen. Their projects and ideas reach from action in feminism, spirituality, sexuality, equality and social change through very different means. All of the common goal to promote free expression. Hopefully their ideas and stories inspire you as much as they inspired me.
Magnificent Mermaids.
Sabina Rademacher is a cross-cultural relationship coach from Germany, currently living in Portugal. She's running the educational YouTube channel Sex Yes and I Wanted Love. In this very first episode today, we'll talk about her project, why sex education is so important, and what all that has to do with creating peace between the genders. Welcome, Sabina. Sex Yes and I Wanted Love, an altruistic peace project and educational platform. What kind of information do you want to offer on the platform, and how can people actually participate?
Yes, well, it all came after observing for years and years and years the confusion in the youth and actually also despair about love and sexuality. And I couldn't understand that we live in the 21st century and the word sex is still such a taboo. So I had experienced not only my children that they brought all their young friends and the teenage friends that came to our house and asked me the questions about love and sexuality when they were not able to talk to their parents. But now that has been 15 years ago, and it seems like it's still out there because young people still approach me. And so I wondered, how on earth can we not offer something like a love school or a platform where young people go, because they're going internet nowadays. Everybody goes into internet and they believe what they find, that's what it is, what they need to know about love and sexuality. And it breaks my heart to see that because it's so focused on porn or faking but there's nothing taught about what love can be as well and what it actually is. And so I decided as an altruistic project to put it onto YouTube in the hope that it would reach the most young people possible. And from this generation who is then better informed, we start to create a world who relearns how to love and actually learns to make peace between the genders. And only then I believe we can make peace on this earth.
Yeah, that is an aspect that's really stuck out for me when you talk about your project, that connection between love, sex, and peace between the genders. You mention it very often. So where do these three for you link together? Love, sex, and peace?
Well, the sexuality aspect, how we are used to it nowadays, and even though it has evolved, of course, from over the last 6,000 years when men were the domination over the women, and women were just, under the man, and they had no right, literally, to speak up their wishes or their pleasure. And it's still existing in many countries where women still live like that. And of course we have evolved, but we have evolved in a way which not gives us the option to really be educated how important the gift women bring to men is. Women don't really understand it, and men don't understand it, what gift that is women can bring to men. It's the holy cave, it's the holy oneness. But that all becomes part of learning of self-love, understanding the body, and true authenticity and communication. So as long as women, for example, just to make this short, because of course I could speak hours on it, but as long as we women don't understand our power and we give us away easily, or we try to please men, or we just try to be with them to help them to get their orgasm, we are not standing in our power. We are still pleasing, we are still kind of putting ourselves under them. Especially when young women, and I've interviewed lots of young women in the streets, and when they say, of course I fake an orgasm. And I wonder what kind of love and authenticity is that to speak to the partner or the person you love. Or even if it's a one-night stand, what do you actually teach the man? The man feels like, wow, he made it beautifully, but when it's actually not true. And while we're lying, it doesn't matter if the lie is in the woman or the man. Sometimes men don't speak the truth either, so I'm just referring to the women part right now. But as long as he's faking and lying, of course there's frustration. And the frustration will be taken out somewhere else as an aggression. Men on the other side, if they just feel they need an orgasm, that's what they need, and that's what sex is about, and women help them to get that, they never will be in presence in the actual moment with what is with the person who they're with. They always have an agenda, which is the orgasm, to reach the orgasm, and the woman, of course, has the agenda as well to help them to get it. And there is no peace in that act because there's no presence, there's no love. It's a gender-driven thing, and it creates a lot of unconscious insatisfaction. And this unconscious insatisfaction creates in men more wanting orgasm, which means it can also lead to even further insatisfaction, finding more positions or even more women, or sometimes maybe even aggressive sex or whatever. And women of not receiving the full presence of a man, the full love of a man they actually aspire to, they become greedy and insatisfied. And that's the non-stop unconscious war in between the genders. And until this is actually healed, of course it goes further out. It goes also out of how we try to control our partners, how do we try to manipulate them as women as well as men. So it's a big story behind it. But as long as we do this, there is actually a war between the genders. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely. I mean, you pointed it out many times that the relation, from what I understand you, the relation is actually the key and the communication of creating healthy relationships, isn't it?
Totally. And of course, sometimes people ask me also, what about a one-night stand? And I think even in the one-night stand, that aspect is the communication, the authenticity. Because you may have a lot of fun and you may be having a beautiful love-making one-night stand. It doesn't matter. But it's about how these two speak and be with each other instead of being agenda-driven.
Yeah.
If it's agenda-driven, doesn't matter if it's one-night stand or in a partnership. If woman feels man only wants to fuck and wants his orgasm, she becomes in a partnership resentful. In a one-night stand, she might just think, oh, never again, or, fuck him, or what a stupid man. And he might think, oh, but the war continues, and what it actually creates, I have interviewed a lot of young men as well, where they start to say all of them are whores because they give themselves away too fast, and so there is like this whole confusion and despair and distortion and dissatisfaction of what love is, and being in a society where we are non-stop manipulated of what we have to get, and we have to get it now, it also heavily affects our love life.
So from what I understand, what you're saying is that it's not only like a lack of sex education, like real sex education in our society, but actually a relationship love school, right? On a bigger scale, we need to be educated.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it actually starts with there. I think there's lots of sex explanations out there, and how, you can have access to all kinds of positions and protections and how to make love and different orgasms and blah, blah. But it actually starts somewhere totally different. It starts with the love. How do I love? How am I loving to myself? And how can I love on that aspect or the other? And how am I with the other in that togetherness? Am I present or am I agenda driven? Am I in my worries? Am I thinking about how fat I look? If I have not shaved? Whatever the subject is, the man is worrying about, can I have, do I come too fast? Do I bleed up? They have a lot of orgasm anxiety because they think they have to make it. So there is such a big agenda-driven thing going on instead of just really learning to love and start from there.
Yeah. You mentioned that one goal of your project is to create an awareness that a wider spectrum of sex, or as you call it, lovemaking, is possible, so that diversity is also one of the keys, hey? That there's not just, one right practice or one wrong practice, but that there's actually a multitude of possibilities in relating to each other, isn't it?
Totally right, yes. But like you just said, I don't want to preach anything like this is right and that's wrong, or nor do I want to take anything away from anybody. Everybody's free to choose how they want to live their life and their sex life and their love life. But I I think there is so little information for young people out there, or for anybody. I don't believe our generation has been educated in that either. And I wish somebody would have told me when I was 20, love is the state of being, not depending on anybody else. But we do make it still depending on somebody else. And if everybody would have an awareness that, wait a minute, love is a responsibility in myself, and how do I deal with it? And then how do I reach from that aspect different ways of lovemaking? Like I said before, it could be totally playing and fun and, what all kinds of imaginations can be involved. But you be in the present moment with that play, or you do deep tantric aspects, you learn about tantric aspects, and you come to the oneness. But you can always reach that oneness if you actually be together in that same game. You're authentic, you are here in that moment, you're not agenda-driven. And that's what I would like to create the awareness of, nothing else. It's just, it's not about giving specific ideas how to play or specific ideas about position. Not my stuff. It's not my objective. There are many things out there. I just want to create an awareness of women and men finding back to themselves, to find actually their awareness of their own body, their understanding of their own pleasures. Because how do you teach somebody? How can you show? Can you communicate to the other what you like if you don't know yourself? The other one is not there to read your mind, and you don't have a manual to give them. To be here to really learn about our own boundaries and own pleasures, and to be able to communicate these honestly and authentically. And this needs an awareness and it needs a practice. And that's what my idea is, of helping young people to understand, so they can actually come back into their power.
Right. How can people actually participate? Because you call it a platform, so how can people give you input, or what they are interested in, or ask questions?
Yeah, of course, yes. And to answer your question, yes, it's for both. Sometimes I speak specifically about the women, and sometimes I will speak specifically about men, but in general I want to speak about both. And so far, the group or community has not been created. I have gotten some messages where I understood people also misunderstand what I'm trying to do, and they think I'm a kind of a, whatever pervert person trying to ask me for, to hook up, or pictures of mine, or when I would be ready for any kind of meeting.
Oh, wow.
So, and that shows me again about how bad it is for people actually look or search for an internet. But ideally, what my idea is that young people who have the courage to contact me or share, ask questions in the community of the YouTube channel, and others who are not courageous enough to ask, they can benefit from reading them. And in the future, maybe there is a creation of the Facebook community group where we can be more held in a group of asking questions without having the other impacts and inputs of people who are still looking for kind of weird things and confusing what I'm about.
Yeah. Well, really beautiful project. Is there anything else you would like to share? Do you want to say?
Well, yeah, I was speaking so far about the young people because that's my passion, of course, and I feel it's maybe easier to help them because they still have a natural, healthy curiosity to know more, while there's coming a certain age where, like 28 or something around that age onwards, where people start to be afraid of asking because they believe they should know. And I want to just to say and add that this platform, of course, is for everyone, and especially I have in mind women, because there's so many gorgeous women out there. They're single and haven't found their soulmate, to say so, just saying that. And to believe it is possible, and they should not give up on that home, but it's work on their own women power, because we have stepped too much in the masculinity. We have too much, we act too much on our masculine side, but our feminine and masculine side in ourselves is very important to bring back to a balance. And why I'm saying that, because I believe women have a message to deliver to men, and we have the power to change something. We are able to lead the men to their soul, and that has been there, that has been existing while love schools were still existing, where the women were teaching men how to love a woman. And that was 6,000, 7,000 years ago, but it has been there. And the wisdom of the love is embedded in a woman. It just has been beaten out by, over the thousands of years. It has been beaten out by men. We have been burned. We have been all kinds of things. But the intuitive wisdom of love is existing in a woman. You can just look at nature, who takes care of, and takes care and doesn't want to make war. Mostly are women if they're not too masculinated. So that's what I wanted to add.
Just the last question. For you as woman, what one thing would you tell to the people out there? What is the magic key of relating like on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, it took me a long time to find that key, and it's constant work in progress, but it's practicing self-love. If I don't love myself, if I'm not in a state of love myself, in a state of being loved, there is nobody around me I can love or can give love or can support. Otherwise, I will be just always needy. So I will be wanting and needing and questioning and asking for love, and that's how we live in the society right now. But the more self-love we have, the more we are living in a state of being of love, the more we can give.
Yes, beautiful. I want to close with a quote that it's from a piece of writing that you sent me that inspired you. It says, "Love is the most significant power for the germination of a new culture of peace based not on sacrifice, but rather affirming life's abundance." And I think this is a really nice quote to end with, and also to thank you for your time and presence having this talk. Wish you all the best with your project, and hope a lot of people got around to discover the YouTube channel. And Sabine, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Riedel. I really appreciate your invitation to join in your magnificent project of magnificent moments. Thank you so much for your time, too.
Thank you.
Magnificent Mermaid. Magnificent Mermaid. Magnificent Mermaid.